So Nano Banana 2 just dropped yesterday, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use it, where you can use it, how you can use it inside Photoshop and other places, and also we are going to test it and compare it with the other AI models and push it to its limits. So if you're ready, let's begin. So before we begin, let me tell you that this will not be similar as other videos testing in Nano Banana 2. I'm going to show you some cool stuff that you're gonna love. So let's begin. First of all, right now you can use Nano Banana 2 on Gemini by just going to Gemini website, and here you can click on create image, and then it already jump on fast. And if you want to use Nano Banana Pro, you can switch to Pro, or if you want to use Nano Banana 2, just stay on fast. So the main difference between Nano Banana Pro and Nano Banana 2 is that Nano Banana 2 is much faster and also cheaper. You can also use Nano Banana 2 on aistudio.google.com. Just come here on the right side, you see we have Nano Banana Pro. You can just change it to Nano Banana 2. But for this, you need to have API key. Right now, as you can see, I don't have any API key. But this is not what I want to show you. I want to show you how you can use it inside Photoshop. And also there is another cool app, which you can use Nano Banana 2 there, which will be amazing. So let's jump into it. This is our Photoshop plugin. And here you can use Nano Banana 2, Seedream 5 Lite, Nano Banana Pro, and a lot of other AI models. And the good thing about it is that you have access to all the settings for Nano Banana 2 and the other AI models. Also, we have the Pro tab, which here you can just do some crazy advanced stuff like restoring an old damaged image into maximum quality, upscaling, and many other things like prompt library for products, and so on. If you don't have the plugin, you can get it from the link down in the description. And the thing that I want to tell you here is that, for example, let me just turn on Nano Banana 2. And if we go to the settings, here you can select the resolution, 1K, 2K, and 4K. And here we have the aspect ratios. And the good thing about it is that they added 4 new aspect ratio, which is 1:4, which is vertical, 4:1, which is wider, and 1:8, which is like panoramic wide, which in a moment I will show you a couple of examples. Under it, you can select the output format, and there is an option here to turn on Google search. So when you write a prompt, Nano Banana 2, before generating your image, it can search on Google, gather some more information, and then generate your image. And we will test this soon as well. One thing you should notice is that this plugin will connect to 2 different websites for it to work. One of them is replicate.com, as you can see here, and the other one is Kie, which I will put the link down in the description to both of these websites. All you need to do, I will just explain it. If you want more information, I will also put some other videos down in the description so you can learn more about this plugin and the next software that I'm going to show you. But anyway, you need to come to replicate.com, create an account here, go to billing, add some credit, like $5 credit, go to API token, create a token, copy the token, and come here in the settings of the plugin and paste it here. You should do the same for if you want to use Kie. You should do the same, go on Kie. Again, link will be down in the description. Create an account and go to billing, add some credit. Again, $5 you can add, or even less, $1. Go to API keys, create a token, copy the token, and come back here in the plugin and paste it here, Kie.ai API here. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, but I wanted you to know for every image that you want to generate, for example, here for Nano Banana 2, if you choose replicate, for example, for 4K, you need to pay 10 cents, which will be deducted from your replicate account credit. For example, here I have $21 credit. Every time that I create an image, for example, here I generated an image using Nano Banana 2, and it cost me 10 cents. Okay, it will be deducted from my credits. On the other hand, if you use for replicate on 4K, it is 15 cents. On the other hand, if you use Kie, it is much cheaper. For 4K, you only need to pay 9 cents, and it works the same way. For example, this is my log. You can see here some credits were deducted from my credits on this website. It's very straightforward. When you get the plugin, or if you get Rangy app, it comes with a full tutorial video. You can just watch it and get better at this kind of stuff. Also, if you face any issues, you can always leave a comment or send me a message. To test Nano Banana 2 and compare it with Nano Banana Pro and Seedream 5 Lite, we are going to use an app called Rangy. And this is an app, I made it myself. And I have done a lot of projects, a lot of different apps. And this one is, I can say, is the best of them. It's the gem of my projects. I'm not saying it because I made it. I'm saying it because we have put so many cool stuff, so many good AI models, and different features, different abilities, different tools inside it, which made this software amazing. As we go forward, you will see it for yourself. So let's begin the test. Here, as you can see, since Nano Banana 2 came out, I have been testing it crazy to see exactly what it can do, where it will fail, so I can show that to you so you know better how you can use it and where you can use it. So here in the first example, I wanted to test the ability of this AI model in generating texts. So here in the prompt, I mentioned that I want you to generate a screenshot of a coding editor in dark theme like VS Code, and showing a Python function that calculates the Fibonacci sequence. And let me show you the other results that I got from Nano Banana Pro and also from Seedream 5 Lite. So here on the right, we have Seedream 5 Lite. In the center, we have Nano Banana 2. And on the left side, we have Nano Banana Pro. If you pay attention, on Nano Banana 2, it is almost exactly similar as Visual Studio Code. If you have this software, let me zoom in. The logo here is correct. The sidebar here is exactly as it is. But if you look at Nano Banana Pro, it had the logo here, but it missed the sidebar. And under it, the information, here it is correct, but here it is more complete. And on the right side, where we have Seedream 5 Lite, you can see that it almost failed. It generated something, more or less it has some mistakes. As you can see here, it wanted to write integer, but it made the mistakes. The code here doesn't make a lot of sense for me. The colors here changed, so it's not really good. But I can tell you the result here is exactly as it has to be in the app. So I have to give the point of this round to Nano Banana 2. Let's continue. Here in this example, we have a white lined notebook paper on a dark walnut wood desk, and with some more information, what it's written on the text. It was written with pen, with natural pen pressure. And in the upper right corner, there is a circular brown coffee cup ring. And in the left of the paper, we have blue big pen with its cap off. Okay, so if we look at the result, in the center, we have Nano Banana 2. On the left, we have Nano Banana Pro. And on the right, we have Seedream 5 Lite. First of all, let's compare the text. As you can see, in all of them, the text is almost correct. Although here, it feels more like it's a font rather than handwriting. And here we have a mistake in lines. You can see there's a mistake here. But on Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro, it's really good. The result, it's like a real photo taken from a piece of paper and someone just wrote on it. And if you look at the text, it's like someone wrote it. Look at the pressure of the ink in part of the text. It's amazing. But here we have that less. We don't have that pressure. And it is a bit closer to be a font. Here it is more like a handwriting. Here we have the coffee ring, which in Nano Banana Pro and Nano Banana 2 is really good. But here in Seedream 5 Lite, it's like a drop of coffee, okay? But the part that most of them failed was the pen on the side. For example, here, we mentioned in our prompt that we have only one pen. You see, to the left of the paper sits a blue big pen with its cap off. So we should have only one pen without the cap. Here on Nano Banana Pro, it added two pens. Here on Nano Banana 2, it is correct, but it doesn't look like a big pen. Here it nailed it. And on Seedream 5 Lite, it just made it crazy. It hallucinated, and you can see this pen has two heads. So again, the point of this round will go to Nano Banana 2. Here we have some more examples that I'm just going to show you the result. We are not going to go deep into it. This is the result of Nano Banana 2, showing a product with all its details, with all the materials, all the text appeared correctly, the material of the packaging, even the cuts here, it's amazing. We have some more examples. This is from Seedream 5 Lite, which it's okay, but it's not as good as Nano Banana 2. And also we have Nano Banana Pro, which this is also good, but again, Nano Banana 2 was much better. Here we have some other examples for realistic photos, and this is the result of Nano Banana 2. It could follow our prompt more precisely, especially for her clothes, which are very old and damaged. But here, for example, Seedream 5 Lite is obvious it is AI generated, and on Nano Banana Pro, it just almost disregarded the old damaged cloth. On the next example, we ask the AI models to generate an image of a person in different ages, like 8 years old, 25 years old, 50 years old, and 80 years old. Here is the prompt. You can go through it. And on the left side, we have Nano Banana Pro, which, as you can see, the 8 years old looks fine, 25 years old looks okay, 50 years old is good. But in 80 years old, the person become a woman, which is crazy. And I didn't expect that. Also on Seedream 5 Lite, this happened as well. The first two images is male, and the second two images is female, which is crazy, and it couldn't achieve the result that we wanted. But here on Nano Banana 2, it nailed it. Here is the image of 8 years old, and 25 years old, and 50 years old, and 80 years old. And they look the same. It more or less seem the same person aging over time. So again, in this round, Nano Banana 2 wins. On the next example, I wanted to test the ability of the AI model to create facial expressions with different feelings. And as you can see in the center, we have Nano Banana 2. And if I zoom in, for example, if we want to compare all of them together, on Nano Banana Pro and on Nano Banana 2, the feeling of happiness is good. Here, it's almost okay. Let's go. Then we have sad. These two are looking sad, but this one on Seedream 5 looked more concerned. You can leave a comment below if you feel different or if you think this is sad. Then we have anger or angry, which more or less these two are more furious. And then we have fearful. This is not fearful. These two are fearful. Let's continue. Disgusted. And again, Seedream couldn't create the feeling of disgusted, but on Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro, it nailed it. It goes the same way, and it is clear that Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro did the job completely. Although if you just compare some results, for example, look at exhausted feeling. For example, on Nano Banana 2, you can see under the eyes of the characters are dark. It is somehow obvious she wasn't sleeping for a long time and she is exhausted. We have jealous here, and here we have hopeful, which are correct. We have bored, they are correct. Proud, more or less. Guilty, yeah. Seedream just it's doing something else. So here we have embarrassed. Here on Nano Banana Pro, she became very red. This is completely wrong. But on Nano Banana 2, it's much better. The result of Nano Banana 2 was slightly better than Nano Banana Pro. In this test, I wanted to see if the AI models can figure out the exact weather and timing in different cities and showing the main buildings or famous buildings in those cities. So this is the result of Nano Banana 2. And I generated this image while here in Dubai, the time was 3 p.m. And in Tehran, it should be like something like 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. But it couldn't get the timing and the weather right. Next, we have Seedream 5 Lite, which was failed completely. It even couldn't get some of the buildings correctly. And the timing and also the weather doesn't look correct. But the best result came from Nano Banana Pro. So here, even though that Nano Banana 2 has access to Google search, and previously we didn't see this option on Nano Banana Pro, it seems that Nano Banana Pro has access to the internet. So as you can see, the weather and the timing were correct. To just show you, let me get the prompt, load it in the prompt input, and I'm gonna select the 3 AI models, and let's select the correct size, 4x3 here, 4x3 here, and 4x3 here. So let's generate this. Now it will generate the images, and for those of you who are not familiar with Rangy, you can just keep sending orders to generate different images here, and whenever each of them is complete, you can see the result here, and it will also be downloaded in the history tab on the left side. If you don't have the Rangy app, I will put the link down in the description. You can go through it, get it, you can install it on Mac and Windows, and it works amazing. So let's continue. All right, the result of Seedream 5 is ready, and again, as you can see, it couldn't make it. Nano Banana Pro result is also ready. Let's look at it. Now, Tehran time, it is saying, for example, it is 6:10 p.m. and 52 degree Fahrenheit. So let's see that. Let's come here into the Tehran temperature. So if we go to Fahrenheit, it is 52. Here it is 52, so it is correct. And let's check Tehran time. And Tehran time right now it is showing 6:13, which I think this image was generated 3 minutes ago, which it was 6:10. So Nano Banana Pro can exactly get the timing and weather of different cities, which is amazing. I was expecting this more from Nano Banana 2 and Seedream 5, especially Seedream 5 Lite. They mentioned this ability in their landing page, but sadly they cannot do it, and Nano Banana Pro can, which is amazing. And sometimes when you're generating some images, it may fail, as you can see here. You can click on details to see the reasons, but usually, for example, I was generating this image on Kie. It is Nano Banana 2. Here it is Nano Banana 2 on Kie. And if I come here on Kie logs, here I must see one of the images failed, and here it is. Sometimes their servers are busy, or there are some other issues from their end, and some of the images may fail, and if it fails, they will not charge you anything, and you can just try it again after some time. On the next example, I found a 2D plan of a building, of an apartment, and I just copied it, came here, pasted into the clipboard, and with a prompt, I tried to get different views of this apartment generated by these AI models. The first try that I had was a failure. They weren't at all close to our plan. They couldn't make it. So I worked a little with the prompt, and more or less I could get something good. For example, this is Seedream 5 Lite, which was completely wrong. You can see part of the 2D plan on the wall, which is crazy, and it's not reasonable at all. I don't know how it works, or we can see some of the plants on the wall. Anyway, let's forget Seedream 5. Let's look at Nano Banana Pro and Nano Banana 2. So I'm going to compare them. I'm going to load Nano Banana 2 as well. And also let me add the plan here. So this is the plan. And we put the camera here looking at the hallway and seeing part of the kitchen and bedroom and living room. So here on Nano Banana 2, if you pay attention, we can see the part of the kitchen, but the kitchen table turned in this direction. But more or less some of the stuff that we have in the kitchen is correct. For example, here we have a stove. This is the stove. Here we have the sink. This is a sink, but it moved a little bit. And here we have the hallway. And on Nano Banana Pro, it couldn't get it right. It just moved everything. On the left side, it put the furniture. Then we have kitchen in another style. We have some small corridor here, which it's more or less completely wrong and crazy. It couldn't get it right at all. But Nano Banana 2 was the most successful one, even though it had some mistakes. For example, the door to the bedroom is not here. It should be here if you pay attention to the plan. And at the end of the hallway, we have the entrance door. But here in the image, you can see it is the bathroom. So it had some mistakes, but it was the most successful model. So with the mistakes, I have to give the point to Nano Banana 2. On the next example, I asked these AI models to create isometric 3D image of this plan. And if you look at the result of Nano Banana Pro, it's the most correct one. Here we have the bedroom, the door of the bedroom is here. Then we have the bathroom, the door is correct. We have a corridor. We have the kitchen here. And the place of the sink and the stove is correct. Even the placement of the table and the furniture here and the plants are more or less correct. But on Nano Banana 2, it made some mistakes. Even those part of it are okay. For example, the bathroom and the bedroom is okay. The furniture here is fine. The mistake that it made was here it added a counter to the kitchen, which it didn't exist. But the rest of it is correct. And on Seedream Lite, it almost got it wrong. We have the bedroom and we have the bathroom, but the placement of them and the shapes and some other items are wrong, or placing of the plants, more or less. And the biggest failure it has is that we can see part of the plan on the walls. For example, here we can see the stove on part of the cabinet. The stove should be here. Here we should have sink, but it just hallucinated. On the next example, I wanted to see if these AI models can generate 4 different seasons of a tree. And this is the result of Seedream 5 Lite. As you can see, more or less, it was successful and the result looks cool. That's the first time that in these examples, it got the right answer. The next one that we have is Nano Banana 2, which is also correct, but the lines are not very clear. It just faded toward the next season, but the result looks very realistic, much better than Seedream 5 Lite, and the result is really good. And here we have the result of Nano Banana Pro, which somehow made a mistake. Instead of showing a tree in each of them with different seasons, it put, for example, in summer and spring, it put one tree in the center, then it has other images, half of the trees. So it doesn't look very good, but the results look really realistic and the quality is really good. The cool thing that you can do with Nano Banana 2 is to create wide panoramic images like this. And as you can see, the size of this image is 11,700 by 1,400. It is very wide and very detailed. But unfortunately, on the other AI models like Seedream 5 Lite, this is the widest possible we can create, and same goes for Nano Banana Pro. This is the result of Nano Banana 2. You can see it has lots of details and we can go all the way to the left and right. On the next example, I wanted to see its abilities to translate a text to different languages. So here I provided the English text. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now, written in English. And then asked it to translate it into Farsi, Arabic, Japanese, French, and put them with the icons or flags of the each language or each country. So here we have Nano Banana Pro. As you can see, the result is correct. At least I know the English and the Farsi language. I can say it is correct. And on the other languages, it should be fine. It looks fine. I don't see any typo issues, even though that I cannot understand the letters or the language. For the flags, it used emojis, which most of the times Nano Banana Pro use emojis. But the good thing of Nano Banana 2 is that it drew the flags itself with just some different design, which is really cool. And sadly, on Seedream 5 Lite, it completely failed in translation, in drawing the flags. So we are not going to talk about it. So the winner here is Nano Banana 2. Here I had some tests. I provided my own image. This image, let me find it. Yeah, I provided this image to the AI model by just dragging and dropping it here and asked it to generate different ages of this person. So here we have the result of Nano Banana Pro on 5 years old, 15 years old, 50 years old, and 80 years old. The problem was that on 50 years old, I look like exactly as I am as 35 years old, but I was stunned that the 5 years old looked really like me. Here we have some other examples. I tried different prompts, different sizes. This is the result of Seedream 5 Lite, which is bad. And here we have the result of Nano Banana 2, which the result looks cool, but I wasn't wearing glasses back then, and I know that AI doesn't know it, but I was hoping it could guess. So here are more results. Let's continue. And for example, this is Nano Banana Pro. And here on Nano Banana Pro, and I think on Nano Banana 2, yeah, on both of them, got me in 50 years old much better. So I wouldn't look like as I am today. And as you can see, the result is good, but Nano Banana 2 is much better. Of course, our next and last test is to see if these AI models can restore old images, fix it, remove the cracks, colorize it, and retouch the image. So here we have an example. I used it before on my videos, and I'm just gonna copy this, come here, paste it, and then in the Pro tab, we have a system or a feature that you can just click what you want the AI model to do, and it will do it for you. For example, you can click on removing cracks, restore the image, colorize it, and retouch it. And on the right side, you can select the AI provider and the quality. For example, here, I have done this already, and this is the result of Nano Banana 2. Let me add the other ones. This is the result of Nano Banana Pro. And this is the result of Flux Context. And 4 months ago, this was the best we could get for these kind of images. But now just look at what we have. So here we have the Nano Banana 2, which looks amazing. And here we have Nano Banana Pro. Let me just remove Flux Context and instead add the old image itself so we can compare it better. So I'm going to zoom in and look at the face. Here on Nano Banana Pro, we have a lot of yellow light, which it's not very realistic. It's more look like an old image, which we didn't want that. We wanted to restore it to today's. But the result, the details are good. Here also the details on Nano Banana 2 looks amazing. Just compare it with the original image. Look at the hair and the lights on the hair. It looks really cool. And all the details, even the text at the bottom of the image looks really, really great. So again, the result of Nano Banana 2 is amazing. So more or less that was all the tests that I wanted to run here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you don't have Rangy app, you can get it from the link down in the description. You can download it. If you're not sure, you can create a free account through the app itself when you download it. And then you can generate up to 5 images per day. Test it. If you are happy with it, if you are interested, you can then upgrade to Core or Pro version. And also, if you want the same system inside Photoshop, again, I will put the link to our Photoshop plugin down in the description. If you are interested in this kind of videos, do not forget to like and leave a comment. This way I will understand that you enjoy this kind of videos and I will make more of them for you. Also, if you have any question about the plugin, about Rangy app, you can leave a comment. Or if you have any suggestions, for example, hey Pouya, you can add this cool feature to the plugin or to the Rangy app. I will look at your comments. I will respond to all of them. And most of the times I will add those features to the app or to the plugin. Of course, if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. That would be all for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you soon on another one.